kind of. Right, welcome back to Iridinod. We've apologised for the delay, which was caused by my managing to kick over a pint glass while trying to leave the room, which led to it shattering all over the living room floor. We have cleaned up most of the broken glass and are thus in a position to go back to Dwarf Fortress, where, frankly...
My feet will find the rest in the morning.
Yes, where broken glasses are the least of our problems. At least our living room here isn't full of bronze colossuses, fast-moving ballista arrows, forgotten beasts, or anything else that's terrifying. So, you may have noticed that the title of today's subtitle of today's stream is Engineered Safeguards. This is because I did have an idea about how to make it slightly less likely that people would get randomly killed in the corridor of flying ballista arrows. There's something rotting in here. Oh dear, yes. Well, and my idea is not ideal, to be fair. It's to have a raising bridge that at the same time blocks the incoming arrows into the target areas, and also opens the door that allows you opens a hatch in the floor, thus allowing dwarves in there, so that essentially the operation that lets dwarves into this area will naturally lock the ballista arrows out. Obviously, if I'm sufficiently much of an idiot, I could lower the bridges while there are still dwarves in there, which will cause them to be shot. But like that would require some fairly serious effort. We sometimes have miasma, but I don't think there's much of it around at the moment. Caused by basically the same reason that dwarves have it, which is not putting the bins out often enough. Right, where were we? Yes, bridges. But this, of course, means I need to get the Bronze Colossus back out of that corridor, and it's all... I think I probably need a slightly better Bronze Colossus manoeuvring system than this. Oh yes, I need to move my IRC window down to somewhere where I can see it. There we are. Good night, Xana.
I just waved my hand, which is deeply unhelpful.
Yes. So yes, there is of course the entertaining thing that because bridges have a delay, but as long as my approach is close the bridge, wait for it to properly close, then reactivate the shooty things, ballistae. I don't think. I mean, this reduces the likelihood of problems. The thing that slightly worries me is it's liable to destroy ballista arrows because they won't be able to fall after hitting a bridge that's behind a fortification. And I'm slightly wondering if I can come up with a cunning trick that will avoid that problem. But I can't work out what it would be yet. But like that will encourage me to get it right. And this is intended as a fallback for when I've been an idiot in some other way. So, I think what that means I want to do is what I want for Bronze Colossus capturing purposes is something that I can put a kitten in. Maybe can I use this corridor? I think so, yes. I stick a kitten in here. Or in here maybe. And then... No, in here. And then lure it through that door with that door locked. And it will then try to go through that door. And while it's in this gap, I lock that door. And that will get it into approximately the right place. So... let's just provide a place to put a kitten here and find a kitten to put in the place. So that door is currently forbidden. That door is forbidden as well, and those doors are forbidden. I'll have to unforbid something because I've currently walled that off. Actually, I've walled off all of the access to this area at the moment, haven't I? Oh yes, because there was an Etin in there, and Etin's building destroyers. So we should remove those walls for now, and then worry about what's happening next. And I was very slowly, after I lost my previous having done it to an embarrassing crash, marking any marking the various corpses up here for disposal. There don't seem to be very many around now. Maybe we've actually managed to dispose of most of them, which would be nice. It'd be nice if someone came out here and collected the books that have been left lying around. Like, you don't leave books out in the snow. Bring them down into the library. Unless all the library bookcases are full, but I don't think they are. And maybe we should just have more bookcases on general principles. There don't seem to be any corpses left out here. Takes a little while to find them because of the rather steep nature of the terrain. Yeah, I think we may actually have cleared them out. Oh no, there's one. See, 3 books there. Those should be in the library. Said in the style of Indiana Jones. Should be in a library.
Yeah, so the difference is when you say this book should be in the library, there's probably a late fee to pay.
No. They've been left by arriving scholars who got slaughtered by the goblin hordes.
Okay, what's the timetable for the next goblin horde?
Don't know. I think in general in a square tile that contains other objects and corpses, the corpses tend to end up being the visible thing. I have no idea how that works in the general case in Dwarf Fortress, but that means that it's fairly easy to find them. Right, I think there was only that one corpse left, which is nice. Right. What's rotting here now? Yeah, actually there's lots of rotten stuff that's already marked for dumping, just someone needs to get round to it.
Do your dwarves have a tech level where they can make hazmat suits or breathing gear or...
No. You just have to try to engineer things so that the rotting things are kept well away from everything else.
Right, I mean, once the place is already full of miasma, you need to go in there to get the rotting thing out.
Then they will be unhappy. Right, there's quite a lot of objects in the rubbish dump, so let's pull the lever. That will reduce the amount of stuff. Right, yes, and some dwarves are scheduled to release the Crundles because we didn't really mean to catch Crundles. Right, and that has splattered all of the objects, all of the dead things that we placed in there, apart from a fairly large quantity of blood. I mean, in theory, someone might go down there and do some cleaning, but... Who's getting into fights now? Cats are getting into fights with Crundles. I can't help feeling that that may actually be bad for the Crundles.
I was going to say, who wins out of catching a Crundle?
I don't know. There is the object testing arena for answering this kind of question. Spawn one cat, one Crundle. Tell them that they are bitter enemies and let them fight to the death and see who wins.
You remind me there that we have a Crundle thing this one. Yesterday before someone, our EJS or JPG, someone on HGR said, why did you never answer the question you just asked them? And I said, about 7 o'clock. And it just turned 7 o'clock, and no one commented on it because it was you. I was just pointing out randomly that it didn't turn 7 o'clock. But I was actually deliberately not answering his question.
It's the question before last.
That one appears to have a cat assigned to it. Let's unassign the cat from that pasture, because we don't actually want to place that there. I mean, if we're lucky, someone can find these cats. Oh yes, I had another idea of something I might want to do, which is to actually engage in sufficient science to work out precisely where the ballista arrows can drop when they get misfired down these corridors. But that may be a bit of a faff to work out.
Is this business back in action then? There's still a Colossus in here, right?
Yes, I'm just trying to tempt the Colossus out so we can so we can engineer some safety features into it and get that etching corpse out of the way.
Engineer safety features into the Colossus.
No, we're moving the Colossus.
That's the dangerous part. I mean,
No, the Colossus has. Okay, the Colossus has killed quite a few dwarves as well, but killing them with a ballista is much more embarrassing. Well, I'm aiming for a higher safety level than Aperture Science, so I felt that starting with the Portal 2 soundtrack might be a little unambitious. I mean, I'm not sure how 22nd Century Girl relates to occupational safety, I admit. It's not that stray kitten, at least. Why do the necromancers never ask for citizenship? And why do the catapults not work? Oh well, we might be able to find that out once we get some more. If we can get something that's Melville bristle paper. Who's that then? One of our longer standing visitors. Or I can't read. You want to join as a citizen? Oh right, am I looking in the wrong place? Oh right, there you are. You are currently a scholar. Well, if I apparently gave you permanent residency, so I feel that pretty much as of right you should get citizenship as a result. Plus, long-term residents are not that helpful on their own. Okay, I suspect maybe one of the kittens was killed by a grundle. We do have a cheerful quantity of stones flying back and forth here. Whee! Completely uselessly. Well, I suppose actually they're a good test of the engineered safeguards, except we have to turn them off before we install the engineered safeguards. Yes, they go an awfully long way, and they're meant to hit the the Bronze Colossus, because the wiki says ballistae don't hit prone creatures, and don't say the same about catapults. So I kind of assumed that catapults could hit prone creatures. But no, there goes another stone flying harmlessly over the Bronze Colossus.
But these things fly in arcs, so eventually they land.
Well, they land by slamming into the wall at the other end of the firing range.
Okay, right.
In the same way, precisely the same way that the ballista arrows do, except that in general, catapults are safer because they will generally only hit enemies. In that they can be aimed at a particular range. Except that here they appear not to hit the enemy either. And where's that cat? Is someone actually bringing the kitten? Oh yes, how's the dwarf with the strange mood doing? That's a bit worrying. There's a dwarf in a strange mood who is not claiming a... thing. Workshop. I will. Oh, they're an accomplished bowyer. Gods, do we need a bowyer's workshop? We probably don't have another bowyer. Well, okay. We don't have any blocks lying around. Yes, we do. Right, is there anyone else who can build that workshop? Yes, excellent. Yes, I'm sure someone is going to complain about my pronunciation of bowyer as well. Why is no one butchering that crundle? Is it too small, or is it a kitten? Oh, it's a kitten. Kittens are probably not butcherable. There's not much eating on a kitten. Right, is that going to get our moody dwarf down here? Yes! Right, good. Monom Thingamy has claimed Bowyer's workshop. And has gone off in search of materials. Excellent. They collected wood first, so it's not going to be made of limestone. Plus we don't have limestone in this fortress. This is a granite diorite fortress. So, do we actually have a job for deliver this kitten? No, we don't. Maybe I need to pick a different kitten. Well, let's just deliver several kittens. I'm sure that'll be fine.
It's a catastrophic approach.
Yes. I mean, I could just open the doors and hope it wanders in the correct direction, but I think kittens will probably help. Excellent. Our bowyer has begun a mysterious construction made out of wood, crundlebone, and llama wool cloth. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Right. Thank you, Jacob, for confirming that my pronunciation of bowyer is perfectly reasonable. Just as my pronunciation of piglet is also entirely acceptable, whatever some people might say.
It's a very known pronunciation.
Oh yeah.
Stop trying to sound like one of the croutons.
Piglet is a genre.
I think you
Yes. Claire's already done that joke.
The piglets refers to tritons. We are the tritons. We have very strange accents.
Yes.
Thing is, they don't see it African either.
Right. Yes. Where are the? Is someone bringing a kitten yet?
What's the point? What do you want?
Why have those ended up suspended? Unsuspend.
A few days ago.
Unsuspend. Make more scrolls.
Yes.
Because they're all in a gap in something.
Oh, well, I've left a bunch of doors forbidden still, haven't I? Stoke face. Right. Unforbid that lot.
Consecutively between stories. Ooh, what's that one?
And then maybe someone will move a kitten or three. Right, okay, 3 people are trying to move kittens. Maybe I should... Oh, it's fine. Multiple kittens are... Redundant kittens are perfectly acceptable.
The other one is between one you've got and 2 that aren't yet released. And one you've got. Well, that last one's in the biggest gap officially, but I can't really monitor that. So they're all between consecutive ones. So what have you got in the left side? Preference or anything like that? I have a choice. I won't tell you who they are, so you can choose. I'll choose them all 3 or 7. This is your also again. There are only 4.
What is fairly well have a release other than
You have well, there is one more release. If I have that, would you like that? If I don't have that, please do your turn.
so this means we have to do dognet this like
Sorry?
means I'm most likely to
There's lots of rock and that at that
Well, I
end.
told you I've got more than one companion. You didn't ask for a release you've got.
Good night, Steph.
Then you are going to get one of them. Okay, I'll try to keep it.
A naked Moldog has stolen a Jabber thingy roast. Disgraceful. Chopped Jabber liver roast. Right. The kittens are being delivered.
In a box.
No. In a corridor. Actually, in a single tile, to which all 3 of them have been confined. They're in a little pile. Right, so now I should be able to lock that door. Unlock that door. Unlock that door, leaving it not passable by pets. Make sure that that door is locked, and thus the Bronze Colossus can get to the kittens, but we can lock the doors around it when it gets close to the kittens, because there are 2 doors between it and the kittens, both of which are unlocked. A cherrywood crossbow. I mean, like, it's probably the most useful artifact anyone's made here. An artifact crossbow, all craft ship, is of the highest quality. It is decorated with crundlebone and llama wool. The object menaces with spikes of cherry wood. On the item is an image of sunberries in walnut wood.
Do any items, craft items, are not menaced with spikes? Or is
Technically, they could not menace with spikes, but dwarves like spikes. And since artifacts tend to end up with lots of decorations, usually one of them will have spikes.
It will end up that it has spikes, and sometimes the spikes will have spikes on the spikes. With
Make
extra spikes.
Make it totally clear that this crossbow has a right end and a wrong end. If that means sticking all sorts of spikes of llama wool over it, then so be it.
Yeah, usually the way you find out that the crossbow you're at the wrong end of is because detritus is at the other end.
I suppose even if we don't actually have a crossbow squad, we could use that crossbow to make a really effective weapon trap. Oh yes, I didn't even read the name. What's it called? Twisted Frigid, the Devourer of Ferocity. Sorry, I'm single-stepping this Bronze Colossus at the moment, in the hope that it will finish walking through this door, well, crawling through this door, because it can't walk anymore. Someone broke both its legs. I'm going to unpause soon because I'm getting bored with hitting dot. Advance by 1 frame. Same as it is in M-Player. And indeed in YouTube. No, it's true. I don't think there are many other keys that do the same thing in both. Board. Though space is pause and unpause. Move another step, you bastard. Why are you standing in that doorway?
Trying to get in.
Well, that was behind it, though. Right. So now, if I lock that door and lock that door, that now confines the Bronze Colossus to a section of corridor that I don't really need to get into. So now I can unlock those 2 doors. Generally good to leave doors pet passable unless you have a good reason not to, because otherwise pets get confused by the fact that they're where they can get to changes every time the door opens or closes.
Kittens aren't locked in here with the Colossus. The Colossus is locked in here with the kittens.
Actually, the Colossus and kittens are deliberately on opposite sides of a locked door. So neither of them can kill the other. I mean, I think you would need a you would need a fairly well armed kitten to take on a Colossus. I mean, the general problem with Colossuses is that being made of bronze, a lot of weapons won't hurt them. So I suppose Catra would probably be pretty good against a bronze Colossus, having as she does. Well, I'm not sure what her claws are made of, but they're a damn sight harder than bronze.
Yeah, she Catra definitely had pot claws.
Adamantine, probably, in Dwarf Fortress terms. Right, so that's now unlocked. So now we should actually work out what we're aiming to do here, which is to have on the entrance side of each channel a bridge that raises to become a wall here, and therefore a hole in the floor here. So where does that end up? That doesn't quite work because someone has mucked around with. Oh well, we'll dig the holes in the floor first, and then work out how on earth we're going to do everything else. Everything in there is already marked for reclamation. We should dispose of the corpse of the Etin because no one's going to eat it. Oh, and we should turn off the catapults. I think they're safe, but maybe we shouldn't test that. If we're going to test it, we should test it with a kitten and not with the dwarf. Right, good. The dwarves are picking up random objects from the thing, and in particular are hauling the dead Etin away. And are going to sleep in the... Oh gods, it's a rock. It's another rock. Look, I'm halfway through building the killing systems. Please stop turning up.
All beneath its mighty wings should fear the sky, which they can't see because they're beneath its mighty wings.
Did I finish connecting that up? Yes, I think so. I'm pretty certain there's no one outside at the moment. Someone is pulling the lever. I'm going to watch the rock. It's alarmingly close to the front door of the fortress. Ah, but it's found a scholar. Excellent. Scholars are good for distracting incoming beasts, mega beasts and semi-mega beasts. Right, good. The front door is now closed. The passage into the shooting gallery is now closed, which means that the rock shouldn't be able to get into the fortress. Following our usual practice, since it seems to be being bad for scholars, we will close the library to visitors. Though, of course, none of the scholars can leave the library at the moment either. Oops, I should have slaughtered that yak. Oh, we've lost a masterwork, namely a particularly good roast. So where are all my miners anyway? Have I accidentally... No, I can't have accidentally locked them out of this area. Like, it's... Lots of people are coming in here and picking objects up and going away again. There. Why are you outside? That's not a good place to be. Here, since you're alive and you're a miner, dig yourself a little tunnel, please. I've designated... Yes, excellent. Because if you could dig yourself a tunnel, you might be able to save yourself from this rock. that is, I believe, somewhere fairly nearby. I think various people are out there fleeing from the rock. You have to dig it right. Okay. Stop stealing my food. Right, now I would suggest you build a wall here out of some of that ice you've just dug up. What? Don't what? Why have you left the place? Where are you going now? You've gone and got into a fight with the rock rather than building a wall. You stoat. And now you're dead. I had you... What are you playing at? Come and dig me a hole. You're a dwarf. Yes, so one of our miners was on the surface, and while they were able to dig themselves a hole, then rather than walling it in, they left the tunnel and got themselves killed by a rock. This miner, meanwhile, is spending all their time picking up equipment. Apparently.
You don't feel a proper miner unless you clank when you walk.
Yes, that's all very well, but... And our other miner is currently worshipping. Have we got any random unassigned peasants who might like to become miners? Hello, would you like to learn how to mine? I'm sure you'll get good at it eventually.
Provided you don't get killed by a rock.
Well,
Before it eventually happens.
turning out to be mysteriously out on the surface is, yes, it's a problem if you're...
Considered sculpture.
If a rock turns up. Like, usually I try to keep the dwarves off the surface by having there being nothing up there that you need, that anyone needs. Someone seems to have filled our stocks with naked moldog teeth.
Then they can mess with spikes.
Excuse me. Stocks. Body parts. Okay, almost all of the naked moldog teeth are marked for dumping now.
So there.
Mark a few other objects that we don't really need.
I think it's really high on the ceiling and which part of the graphs. Probably meaning what things are.
What?
So, place to stick. There's no help place to bring a hair tie.
You've done something.
Yes.
I'm slightly worried that it might turn out that none of our miners has a pick, and we may have run out of picks or something embarrassing like that.
Good to know. It's good to know.
Thank you. How are we off for metal in general? We've got a decent amount of iron. We've got a decent amount of steel. Let's make a couple of terrifying steel picks. Of course, like that's the best thing for killing things if you've got one. The Etienne corpse has almost been brought down to be destroyed. Someone has randomly left a pile of armour in the entrance to the rubbish dump. Please don't leave things in the doorways.
Not all doorways is forbidden for leaving of stuff.
No. Dwarves will drop things wherever they are. No matter how inconvenient that is. And this tends to lead to doors being jammed with whatever rubbish they happen to have been carrying at the time. Alright, the digging up here has been done by someone, so someone's got a pick. Good. Right. So now the problem is that I bet that slope is... Well, that slope is probably usable until I build the bridge, at which point it will become unusable. Let's build the bridge. Which should be... 2 units wide and raised to the right and be there, and on general principles made out of ice. And we should build another bridge which should raise that way and be 2 units wide and be placed there and made out of ice. And we should install a lever here. So then the slight problem is that this ramp is unreachable, and that ramp is will be unusable. At least making this ramp reachable is fairly easy, because we could just do that. It's going. Is there any? So at the moment that corridors are only connected up. Yeah, let's connect it this way. And I think if we just stick a wall there, that will not block the corridor because you can go diagonally round it, but will make that ramp work properly. So the bridges are now almost installed. We're going to need more mechanisms, of course.
It's not usable.
someone has cleared that doorway at least. And the lever is being built. Lever is built.
Right.
Yes, Jacob, you hear Stoty Newtings.
Mute. Mute people.
I've just realised there is a slight complication here, which is that ideally there would be no way into this area other than through those bridges, but that makes it rather hard to manoeuvre the Bronze Colossus, because it needs to be able to get out. I suppose actually we could always tempt the Bronze Colossus down through those, can't we? We can put the kitten below and have a system of Bronze Colossus storage, and indeed other creature storage, down there. Though we do generally want it to be technically possible to get through this in order that we can tempt creatures in there. So probably we have to have some way that, in theory at least, people can get in there. We just shouldn't actually ever allow people in by that route. No, but we can use kittens, can't we? They don't have to actually be able to get into the real fortress. They just need to be able to get into the They just have to be able to get into the into somewhere that has something they might want to kill, because like a kitten's better than nothing, isn't it? Right, what are we doing other than making ludicrous anagrams of things? One of the kittens has escaped. Well, no, I think that's actually a different kitten. We now have 4 kittens up there.
And a separate conversation was talking about sound waves. I've got to walk nice things in a drawer. And these two thoughts have just collided with a hang on, I've got a cassette and a walk. Aha! That what the story works.
Right, what are we doing anyway? We're waiting for that lever to finish being hooked up. And then going, have we got any more? Have we got enough mechanisms to hook it up again? Yes, apparently so. I'm so busy getting distracted by trying to work out how I changed the layout of the fortress.
Absolutely going to. It's still there.
Well, I think that cat's going to win that fight. Probably, yes. It's a lot of blood. I hope that's Crundle blood. It's everyone's blood, apparently. Okay. Fweep. So, what are you guys doing? Yes, obviously there are 2 dwarven children playing in this area. Well, that's fine. They can be used for testing that the safeguards work. Right, I think we want to remove that door anyway, because we want to replace it with a wall. Or do we? Because we want to get the bronze colossus back in somehow. No, that's fine. We just move we can move the kitten around, can't we? We don't want to replace it with the wall just yet. Then, oh, we don't want the. No, we need that to be up. Oh, we need the kitten to be downstairs and then to tempt the bronze colossus in, and we need more doors, right? I think. Because ideally, yeah, the problem here is we have essentially 2 dangerous things here. We have the ballista arrows and the bronze colossus, and I have reasonable engineered safeguards against the ballista arrows killing people, but the bronze colossus is a good deal more dangerous in a way, because, or at least is a lot harder to build a good, safe handling system for. I presume the rock's still outside. Yes. No one is discussing anything because the library's officially closed. Yeah, almost no one's discussing anything.
But who is that one guest discussing embryological development with? Yes, one more time.
Our citizen scholar, whom I just granted citizenship to. Okay, the children have left the shooting gallery temporarily and have now wandered back in. Have you hooked that up yet? No. Based on my experience of decades-old mag tapes, you'll probably find yourself in need of a foam bud and some isopropanol in about 10 minutes.
What will happen when it melts into a puddle of doom?
My experience, and this is admittedly with half-inch tape, is it does tend to stick to the tape head.
Well, I've only got one AA battery apparently, so...
Oh, there's some in my room, I think. Albeit that I'm not sure I could explain where to find them.
I can steal them from TV control.
Okay, will do.
Double A or triple A? I think it's double A.
I think I have a bit of a surplus because now one of my cameras has stopped working.
I'll take this to my bike coat instead.
Right, where was I? Anyway, we were going. Have you finished hooking up that lever yet? No. Well, let's find some other things that need doing, like discarding yet more bits of Crundle. Sorry, I just realised I carefully marked things for dumping by pressing D on them repeatedly, and Gareth will understand why I did this. And having marked several things for dumping by pressing D, I then pressed X.
Why would I understand?
I was then expecting to press Y.
Oh, after the X.
Yes.
Right, sorry. Yes, okay. I think this factory might be...
I mean, I can't really complain about what you're covering the carpet with, given what I did earlier.
The other actually looks fine.
Okay, I think one of my hunters has picked up the artifact crossbow, which is probably reasonable. I mean,
Yeah, that could be a death match.
don't quite know why we've got hunters, but still.
I presume even an artifact crossbow isn't suitable for shooting down a rock.
It's better than nothing, but on the other hand, it's a rock. I think the thing is that being an artifact crossbow will probably a bit increase the damage and make it more accurate. But, like, there's still a limit to the amount of damage you can do by hurling one piece of steel at a rock. I mean, we could try sending people after it with a crossbow, but my current plan is to send a Bronze Colossus after it, because that dealt with the last rock. It's just I need to finish doing this bit of reconstruction work first. I would suggest that you test it without a tape in first. Because unlike computer tape drives, audio tape decks generally are willing to do things without a tape present.
It worked 30 years ago. Go round.
Mm. Right, so now,
Very exciting.
if I pull this lever, that will probably cause serious injuries to this child.
Not very sticky.
Yeah, I mean, the tape is newer than some. I mean, I think it used to be that I thought 1980s mag tape was still okay and 1970s mag tape was a bit knackered and would generally break. I think we're now at the point where 1980s mag tape is a bit iffy.
It's not been used for 30 years either.
But I'm donating all of that kit to the university library anyway. Sorry, or rather, University Information Services is donating all that kit to the university library. None of it's mine.
Sorry, I have to put headphones on.
Why?
Here's the intro music.
Yes.
It works.
Yes, that does appear to be functional. Well done. Now,
Sorry?
What's the music?
It's not music.
well, it is.
It's
Just
the theme music for that. This is more exciting than you can possibly imagine.
oh, good. While I was not paying attention, the child moved off the bridge without getting killed, I think. I mean, at least I can't find the child who was on the bridge, so I assume they moved off it without getting killed. No one appears to have been added to the list of dead or missing recently. Right, so now we could reasonably build a wall here. Then we just need to wait for that. Well, now what we should do actually is test this by firing each of the catapults. And making sure that those rocks don't end, not that kind of rock, don't end up anywhere dangerous. Spring has arrived.
I mean, we thought that here.
Well, the thing is that in Rhythmgates, it snows all year round. Like, we're not in the kind of place where you go, oh, it's spring, it shouldn't be snowing anymore. Like, these upper layers of the fortress are dug into solid ice because the glacier is not going to go anywhere.
Where's your microphone? I've no idea if they can hear this. Can you hear this? Let's find out.
Right, spring has arrived. Gareth is running around being very excited by the fact that a audio tape of some Transformers related thing is actually playable. I do hope I don't get a copyright strike for that one. Actually, generally for musical things, they just say we're going to give some of your non-existent advertising revenue to a K-pop label. So, so here comes someone to fire a catapult. Katwang, there goes the stone, and it does not pass through into the place where it would cause trouble. Right, let's turn that catapult off, because I think that stone will have been destroyed. In that there is no stone here or here, that stone has actually vanished entirely. And that's obviously not really something we want to happen, but I should consider it an incentive to remember to turn things off when we're not using them. But losing ballista arrows is much better than losing dwarves. Yeah, we'll let you out soon once there isn't a rock outside. I'm just going to try to prove that the other one works properly as well, and then pull the lever again, and then let the bronze colossus out in the hopes that it will go and deal with the rock. Flying rock of the other sort. Clang! Right, good. That worked too. So, now pull that lever again. If there is a rock inside, we will be in serious trouble. I mean, if it's still alive. Obviously, we want this rock dead because its bones are very valuable. Okay, I'm slightly worried by Aban Ralusan. Dwarven Child has been missing for a week. Maybe they did get killed in a freak drawbridge related accident. That would be unfortunate.
That's what they were on the surface and became treaded.
Yes, actually, we have had some. We did have a child die on the surface, so that's possibly it as well. Well, we'll find out once we get the access to the surface again. Right. Oh, stoats! Sorry, the bridges have been carefully lowered and someone was in there at the time. Raise the bridge. Well, there is a slight problem that there's a bunch of stuff in there that should probably be removed. An animal has grown to become a duck. It's true. Oh no, sorry, it did actually give me a name. Eden Solon Logum has grown to become a duck. Right, and now pull the lever again. Actually, there is a technique I sorted out for clearing an area of objects, isn't there? I might do that to the Ballista Alley once I've got this Bronze Colossus out of the way. Right, so now if we open... No, what we want to do first, I think, is unlock that door. So that the Bronze Colossus is allowed out. And ideally the Bronze Colossus will stop standing on that drawbridge. Ideally. So that then we can raise that drawbridge to lock the Bronze Colossus, lock the rock out of the fortress even when we open the end of the Ballista Alley. As a safety measure, though, well, a kind of extreme danger measure, really, let's get some people arming. Let's get some people staffing those ballistae. So that if the rock comes in, we can start killing it. I really should remember to slaughter any animals that people bring with them, because they, especially grazing animals, don't live very long underground. Right, there's someone at that ballista. I think there will shortly be someone at the other ballista. This is so that if the rock comes in, we can twang it. Right, so now I think I'm feeling reasonably comfortable about unlocking ballista entrance. Rock is still wandering around out there. It's slightly injured. Scars on its upper body and left lower leg, but only slightly. So shortly someone should... Right, now the Bronze Colossus can leave. So my hope is that the Bronze Colossus will leave. Right, there's a rock out there. Surely that's exciting. I think it should be able to tell. I think in general creatures can detect anything hostile that they can path towards, or rather anything to which they are hostile that they can path to.
Can I pass through
that might be an issue. It may be that it has to come down to the ground.
Can it pass through rock that's so heavy you can't lift it?
Oh, here comes the rock. Pause. Pay attention. Fire. Fire. Also pull all the levers. That one is a high priority. That one when you have a moment. Twang! Splot. The rock survived that, but it has been quite significantly injured by that ballista arrow. It may be that it now can't stand. Yes. So someone apparently has decided that they're going to carry a a ballista arrow, all the way from the other end of the world, rather than. No. The things are reasonably well organised in that regard. Through a kitten, but. So the rock seems now to have stopped moving. Yes. As has the bronze colossus. And we have now raised these drawbridges, which lock the, which make sure that even a building destroyer can't get in. But yes, I think now the rock is no longer able to stand, and so so we can't hit the rock again, right? But the rock is sealed in, so. So, I've just gone up about 4Z levels. There's a little depression off the side of the main valley here, and down at the bottom of that depression we've dug a tunnel into the ballista alley. Which had a bronze colossus at the end of it. The bronze colossus may not have been able to smell the rock, but the rock could smell the bronze colossus, apparently. Perhaps more importantly, the rock could path to the bronze colossus, even because the bronze colossus can't fly. Because the rock can fly and the bronze colossus can't. So the rock could see the bronze colossus, but the bronze colossus couldn't see the rock, I think, until they were both on the ground. At which point the bronze colossus chased after the rock. And they haven't actually met yet. Let's just lock that door while we're here. So yes, now we can actually unlock the front door again, which will probably cheer people up, and we can open the library again. What am I doing? Oh yes, I was going. What is the state of the tin library? It has 10 written objects. How do bookcases work? A single bookcase can hold 500 scrolls, apparently. Right, we're not going to run out of space in the bookcases. So curiously, now that the rock has been shot repeatedly, the bronze colossus and the rock don't seem to have much to say to one another. Oh, they're moving a bit, slowly moving closer together. Meanwhile, is anyone actually going to come and open the front door? Oh, of course, the lever was in the wrong state, so it needs operating again to open the door. And if I'm going to do that, then for safety, I should actually also operate the copy down here so that they're in the same state. Right, and now the outside world is open again. Oh, the rock's standing up.
Quick, shoot it again.
Yeah. It's obviously important to turn on both ballistae because otherwise all the bolts end up at one end. It takes a little while for people to get up here and get ready the weapons. Splot. I think it's fallen over again now. It's still not suffered any actual bone breakages. I think they're still quite valuable when they're broken. We turn them into rings and such like. You don't need very much continuous bone to make a ring. You can't presumably take one of its leg bones and just slice it into thin pieces that you clean out to make rings. And being a bird, it probably has hollow bones. I mean, she's kind of impressive that one arrow has managed to hit it in both legs, the lower body, the upper body, and the head, and has bruised its pancreas and stomach.
Yeah, well, the JFK investigators should look at this stuff.
Okay, let's turn off the that ballista again. We've still got a stock of arrows there, so you can probably safely turn that one off as well. Actually, as a test, let's confirm that the that it's not just a fallen over bronze colossus that the catapult can't hit. Yes, a fallen over rock it also can't hit. Right. Science. So I think we've probably got some new burials now. As a result of the rock incident. So Goden Otungzuglar. Actually, can do it the way that I did before, can't I? First of all, let's check that we have a reasonable number of unengraved slabs in stock. 4 apparently. Oops, that's completely not the right button, Ben. Possibly 3, 4. Yes, so we've run out of bookbinders again. Okay, I think we're still actually bringing the corpses down for these ones. But still, that was definitely one of them. Inod Emal Nil.
Needs more irons.
And Moldas Asrerith. Oh, there they are. And finally, Mebzuth Nomal Bomrek.
What's the Stokescroft thing? SCB is still Stokescroft. Something big.
Space construction vehicle.
Constructing space.
Constructing within space.
Oh, you can dig holes in things. It's just better for digger. Like I think a knowledge transfer facilitator should really be a fancy name for a teaching assistant. A space construction vehicle is digger. It makes spaces.
Well, that's a boring machine. True. That sounds like one.
We've forgotten the names. That one we've now got a coffin for. Kib Esmul Asob. guessed which one we already have a thing for.
Right.
Mesbus Normal Bomb Wreck. Yes.
Truth universally exploded. Good night.
Yes, I should read out their memorial, of course. No, that's the wrong button. In memory of Mebzuth Nomal Bomrek, born 169, bled to death, slain by the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush, in the rampage of the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush, in Rhythmgates in the year 173.
None of those were there.
Similarly, while I haven't installed it yet, in memory of Moldas Asra Rerith, born 169, struck down by the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush in the rampage of the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush in Rhythmgates in the year 173. Lover of Claystone. In memory of Inod Emalnil, born 127, died of thirst, that's a bit worrying, in the year 173. Devoted father, united with Citrine. In memory of Godan Otungzuglar, born 156, bled to death, slain by the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush in the rampage of the rock Evhol Wingbuds the Lush in Rhythmgates in the year 173, slayer of the goblin Mesum Clashtgript, at one with Bismuth. Yes, I think Godunald Otungzuglar was the miner who couldn't work out how to wall himself into a tunnel. Oh, the Bronze Colossus and the Rock have met finally. And are now wrestling. So yes. Yes, once the rock had passed out from exhaustion, it looks like the bronze colossus started having a better time of it. So I think the bronze colossus is going to kill the rock eventually. What's that object? Right, the rock is no longer equipped with a beak. Indeed, I'm slightly worried because it appears to have 3 beaks lying here. Or maybe it's only one. And what's that space doing? Right, the rock has been killed by the bronze colossus. So now, ideally, we put the bronze colossus back in its cupboard. And then retrieve the remains of the rock. Please don't kill elk birds. Elk birds are nice. I like elk birds after the time when I actually managed to get one to lay an egg. I managed to get one to hatch an egg. That was quite a bit of effort. So I think they had been made a little bit easier to breed by that point. Right, someone has taken it upon themselves to get that corpse to some more useful location. I thought I'd cleared out all of the cruft from down here. Why are there still teeth down here? Bah. And teeth embedded in the walls at that. Right. I do hope that teeth don't spontaneously come into existence in the Dwarf Fortress universe. That would be disturbing. Is there anything happening with this beak then? Do we know what to do with the beak? Right, I'm going to do a slightly weird thing, which is to create a stockpile that permits essentially everything. Here, and another similar stockpile that spans the entire ballista alley, and then mark this one as take from links only, take from that one. And my hope is that the consequences of that will be that the objects lying around in the ballista alley get cleared out. Well, yes, I'd like the rock beak to be able to be converted into some valuable object, but currently on the way down the stairs. Thank you, Jacob, who has looked up beaks and discovered that they're useless. Beaks, unlike tails or heads, cannot be butchered or used in any way. Except possibly in the event of a strange mood. Oh, gods, don't store anything in that stockpile. Oops, I accidentally made the entire ballista alley into a storage area. No, don't. That one's said to take from links only. Why is anything being brought up here? Oh, probably because it's got bins and barrels set. No, turn off bins and barrels as well. Damn it. Right. And that here too. You know, we are in a situation where even if some idiot turns on the ballista, no one will get shot. But my attempts at removing everything from this area have not gone very well. Since it now has substantially more stuff in it than it had before. Still, people are now removing things again, so that's fine. But I may need a bigger stockpile to collect things in because someone's filled these ones with rubbish. Right, let's build a second stockpile here. Set it to no bins and no barrels. Other way round. Take from links only. Take from that one again. Meanwhile, the rock corpse has made it to the main fortress levels. The person carrying it is getting quite thirsty. Right, and someone is now going to butcher the rock. Good. We have lots of space in the food stockpile. Should put a make lavish meal job on repeat because we would like to cook that rock before someone turns it into something else. Why is our entire fortress overrun with elk birds? Well, since things are rotting in the rubbish bin, let's pull the lever. And pull the lever again. Right, I think the rock has now been properly butchered. Don't think we need its nervous tissue or its skin. Everything else is getting rapidly hauled off to the food stockpile, so that's good. I think the naked mole dogs have cleared off. Yes, that's the head of a stray cat, not a stray head of a cat. This is not Nose Tools, where you could where actually while the cat head could come back to life, it would at that point not be stray, because that would imply that it was tame, and you can't tame the undead. Right, well, we apparently have some immigrants who've managed to arrive at a time when it isn't terrifyingly dangerous to enter the fortress. Oh yes, we're owed a memorial for Kib Esmolasob. Let's see if we've got one lying around. No, that one didn't get carved, probably because I think we've run out of bookbinders again. Probably didn't get carved because we ran out of blank slabs. There's a new arrival who doesn't know what to do. Hello, become a bookbinder. Yes, so a stray horse foal should probably be slaughtered before it starves. Nothing else there that needs killing. No, I'm sorry, the only animals we have in Rhythmgates are kittens. Not actually only kittens, but like... Okay, so why do we still have a few objects lying around in the... Yeah, but they're not our elk birds, they're just visiting. In the ballista alley, eh? Like, there's an enormous pile of... There's a book there, which someone should take down to the library. And there's a bunch of clothes. And a random barrel of beer. And that mysterious beak. Someone engraved that slab yet? Yes. In memory of Kim Esmul's Asob, born 170, struck down by the rock Evil Wingbuds the Lush in the rampage of the rock Evil Wingbuds the Lush in Rhythmgates in the year 173. So only 3 years old. Lover of crowns. No, I haven't changed the burrow restrictions recently. Maybe I should permit bins in these. There's probably some silliness about the fact that I've got 2 stockpiles taking from the same stockpile. He's still got some crundles locked away somewhere. It's curious. I mean, there's an argument that we probably also don't actually need to keep hedgehogs in cages. Oops. I think this must be a bunch of stuff we got from some traders who got killed. Well, if you're going to go getting into fights with elk birds, what can you expect? Stupid dog. What's our soap situation since someone's cleaning themselves there? Yeah, we've still got some soap. Let us discourage routing through this area if you're trying to go somewhere else. Maybe restricted is a bit vicious. That probably screw up the slow down the routing algorithm a bit much. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll work it out. Wondering what our prepared meals are like. Have we got any new rock meals? Why is that a forbidden alfalfa roast? There's no good reason why that alfalfa roast should be forbidden. See, we can fit in another 5 coffins. Let's make those 5 coffins. Let us release some creatures from cages. Oh right, we can't release small creatures. Interesting. Oh, I think I know what's happening about the Crundles, though. When I tell someone to let a Crundle out of a cage, they don't let the Crundle out of the cage. They put the Crundle in another cage. They go and fetch a cage and transfer the Crundle into it. Which is why the Crundles keep still being in cages. Right, well... what I want to do is just let the bloody things out. We don't care. Oh well. I'm not going to attempt to fix that tonight. Yeah, I think I need to understand how tame... Yes, I think it's a similar thing with the small creatures. And I'm going to have to understand how one extracts them. So many rock bones of these moderate value. Okay, they're not valuable until someone's turned them into something. We may need to start sorting out a better way of storing bones. So our big problem is that we're short of gems, isn't it? We need to mine more gems. Anyway, that should all be a thing for later. Because it's fairly late. Yes, thank you. We need an ossuary. And probably a stockpile for storing trinkets, because our trinket stockpile is nowhere near big enough, apparently. Like, we've got all of these bins full of trinkets. But, but we still have a terrifying number of trinkets in here. And these are just the ones we haven't put gems on yet. That's all the stuff from the last rock. Well, some of the stuff from the last rock. I mean, you might think that we ought to be saturating the market for bone trinkets, but apparently not. So anyway, yes, I think that will be a good point to stop for tonight. That still needs a small amount of tidying up, but it's getting there. Someone's left a scroll there. So I think we will stop there. Good night all.